Want that, huh? There's me again. That's just my niece's pet rabbit, Sophie. And this little talk will be about the animal world during the 1,000 Years of Peace. The images that I've seen in my head, the pictures, the insights I believe the Lord has given me. It's going to be a much better place for everybody involved, from the animals up to the people to even the plant life. As I mentioned earlier, after Armageddon, the Lord's going to change everything. The entire earth is going to be shaken, and all the continents and the landscapes are going to change. The bottoms of the ocean are going to be brought to the top, and the coastal areas around the planet are going to be buried under. Mostly because I believe sin has a great hold on those particular areas, those particular cities. Although there are cities inland that have a great amount of sin. Again, any city that is currently filled with sin and violence and corruption will be buried under, along with most places of the land that we have. And so when the Lord is doing that, burying the landscape and bringing up new landscapes, after the planet is entirely burned to a crisp, He's going to be recreating new plant life, and that new plant life is going to benefit the animal kingdom as well as the natural people there. We, the regenerated, we won't need to eat, but we will still be able to taste food, just like Jesus did with his resurrection body. He came down, and for the 40 days after his resurrection, he had fish. He was able to eat with his disciples. I'm sure he did a lot more during those 40 days that aren't recorded in the Bible. But like the Bible says, if every one of the miracles that Jesus did were written down, the world wouldn't have enough books to contain them. So he did a lot with his regenerated body and with his pre-resurrection body as well. He was able to manipulate a lot of the quantum nature of the universe and the laws of nature as well. And so we the regenerated will be able to do that too. So when it comes that time for the new earth, after everything is burned, I believe God, I believe I've seen in my visions in my head, a whole new life coming up, whole new kinds of plant life, and the main being a plant, as I've mentioned before, that has the same meaty texture and the same kind of fiber as meat itself. So all those recipes that mankind has created over the thousands of years of its history will not go to waste. We'll still be able to enjoy a nice hearty stew. But because of the plant life being changed, we also know that the Bible tells us, in terms of the animal life, that the lion will have his metabolism change so that he'll be able to survive like the ox. He'll be able to eat grass and whatnot. So all these ferocious, vicious, meat-eating animals will have their metabolisms changed as well, in terms of they'll be able to eat grass and stuff like that. They'll become herbivores. Sorry, I'm not a scientist or a biologist. I don't know all these different terms and whatnot. Sometimes I can barely get these images out of my head, explaining and whatnot. So the plant life is going to change. The people, the natural people, the flesh and blood people, the survivors of Armageddon, they and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren and everybody else will eventually become herbivores. They'll become vegetarians, if you will. They'll eat plants, and that new kind of plant that I mentioned before, the kind of plant that can be cooked like a meat. And what else? The animals. The animals will be restored again. Every animal that mankind has made extinct will come back to life. The Lord will recreate all his creation. Everything the Lord has created in the past that has disappeared or that we've made extinct will be brought back. We will also finally get to see the Leviathan that Job talks about, that giant sea creature that some have mistaken for the hippopotamus or the alligator. I believe the Leviathan is actually the creature that we've called the Loch Ness Monster. It's a creature that lives in all the waters. It can survive in fresh water and seawater, and it travels around the planet by all the underground streams and aqueducts that the Earth has. So that's why we can never see it in the Loch Ness, because it only appears there once in a while. And because he's recreating, actually, I don't think the Loch Ness Monster will, or the Leviathan, I don't think it'll be destroyed during Armageddon. I think it'll survive. It'll be one of the greatest creatures that God has made, and it'll survive in one of the underground caves that it currently travels in. And so it will no longer remain hidden from mankind during the 1,000 years of peace. And because that is kind of like a dinosaur kind of creature, I also believe that I've seen dinosaurs, the Lord recreating all the dinosaurs, the T-Rexes, the Brontosauruses, and the Stegosauruses, and all those other kinds of dinosaurs. But again, like the meat-eating animals that we have now, the T-Rex and the Raptor and all those ones, their metabolism will be changed as well. They'll be herbivores, and they won't fear man either. So having a pet lion or a pet cheetah or a pet raptor or a pet T-Rex will be no big deal. They'll be wandering around the landscape, just like everybody else. Wherever people decide to set up their villages or their communities or even their cities, it'll be in perfect balance with all of nature. And so there will be regions where there will be like a real life dinosaur land, actual dinosaurs walking around, and in the waters we'll be able to see the Leviathan. It'll be a commonplace creature, and again, it won't fear man, and we'll see just exactly what it looks like and exactly what the Lord did to make this the greatest creature, the greatest of creation that He made, as the book of Job tells us. And that's about it. So everything's going to be perfectly well balanced in terms of the animal kingdom, in terms of the natural people, and in terms of we the regenerated. In our own pieces of land, we can have any kind of animal for a pet if we want. And the natural people, hopefully the animals won't fear the natural people, because the natural people, as you know, will still have that Adamic nature. They'll still be able to choose sin if they will. But I think the animals, or I've seen the animals, have their own form of communication, especially with us, the regenerated people. I don't think the animals will be able to speak actual English, although it wouldn't surprise me if they could, or if many of them could. But I believe, especially with us, the regenerated, when they speak in their own animal language, we'll be able to understand them. And when we speak in our language, they'll be able to understand us. How that works with the natural people, I guess we'll have to see when we get over there. But I believe the same thing will be said for them too. When they can hear an animal, they'll be able to understand it. And when the animals hear them, they'll be able to understand what's going on. The world during the 1,000 years of peace won't be perfect yet. It doesn't get perfect until after the 1,000 years of peace. The 1,000 years of peace, in terms of the balance of nature, will still be just as good as it was when God created earth and the heavens during the first 6 days. Everything was just good. It hadn't been made perfect yet. It doesn't get perfect until after the 1,000 years of peace, when God moves from heaven down onto the earth. So anyway, That's about it in terms of the animal life there, and nature, and the plant life, and the people existing. It'll be a much better place for us to live in, and a much better place for all the animals. So that's it. Have fun wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world. Be a blessing to someone. Share the good news. There's a much better kingdom coming, a much better world for everybody, and hopefully everybody that you talk to will catch the vision as well. 1,000 years of peace is going to be way better than this world now. Much better than we can possibly imagine. So that's it. Talk to you later. See you somewhere over there, or maybe even up in the air. See ya.